Hi, my name is Olivia Maglietto, and my informative speech is going to be about consent. But most importantly, it's going to be about affirmative consent. Where do we start? Firstly, I'm going to start with the definition. According to system.sunny.edu, written by a sexual prevention workshop, it clearly states affirmative consent is a knowing, voluntary, and mutual decision among all participants to engage in sexual activity. Consent represents the ethical and legal expression of a person's right to have their body and self-determination respected. I don't think that's too much to ask for. To simply be asking for our bodies to be respected, for our words to be heard. Consent isn't solely defined as sexual consent, though. Consent can be for many things, such as giving consent for a hug, or giving consent for a high five, or even your doctors need consent before touching you for medical reasons. The second thing that I would like to point out about affirmative consent is what happens if you make a choice to not care or acknowledge another person's consent? Well, according to topclassactions.com, for a situation such as violators who record phone calls or other private conversations without consent or knowledge of the other party, in the state of California, they can be fined as much as $2,500 per violation, as well as a 1-year prison sentence. But let's say they did something a little worse. Let's say they performed sexual activities with someone who did not want to perform sexual activities with them. Well, on findlaw.com, it states that they can serve up to 8 years in prison and up to $25,000 in fines. But that all depends, and it can be higher or lower, all depending on the age of the victim and the degree to which the crime was committed. There have been prison sentences in the United States for up to 25 years for statutory rape. Other countries are not as forgiving as America. In China, strict punishment is given to rapists. Strict punishment. Rape is a brutal crime, and the death penalty is declared once the rapist is convicted. Also stated in lifecrest.com, another punishment given to the rapist in China is castration. The third point that I would like to make about affirmative consent is that consent cannot be found in any other word other than yes. Not yes and then 2 seconds later, no, because that's still no. Not maybe or all right. Yes. Yes, you can give me a high five. Yes, you can give me a hug. Yes, I would like to perform in those sexual activities with you. I mean, according to Merriam-Webster-Dictionary.com, it states the definition of consent as being to concur with what has been proposed, to be in full agreement with what is going on, to have full knowledge and understanding of what is going on. So, if a girl is 7 tequila shots in, she's probably not going to have a good understanding or idea of what's going on. So you probably shouldn't take advantage of that. I mean, how do you identify consent is a better question, right? There's only one way to know for sure if you have another person's consent, if they tell you. But you can always change your mind. Always. You always have that right. You and your sexual partner can decide at any time that you don't want to keep going. I mean, even if things have already gotten started, you can always turn back. You always have that choice to make. You legally have the full control over your body. You have full control over what happens to it because, you have that right to your own body. So I would like to finish off this speech with my favorite quote about this topic by Amber Rose on a talk show. It doesn't matter how far I take it or what I have on. If I say no, that means no. Thank you.